Hi, I'm Senator Malcolm Roberts and I'm in lovely Boonaroo here in the Fraser Coast, and I'm with Christine Olsen, and I've just been at a community meeting in the community hall listening to a lot of people who are very upset, and I must say very, very well informed. These people know what they're doing. It's about a wind turbine project, an industrial wind turbine project. And I made it very clear where I stand on it. These are parasitic malinvestments that are destroying our country. But this is also potentially destroying this community if it comes. And I say potentially because it's not yet approved. So we've got a chance. But I've made 2.5 pages notes just listening to people. It's a white elephant. Susan was really well informed. That lady, she came from Britain. She knows what's happened in Europe. It's destroying industry over there and here. There's been no consultation. Oh, by the way, this project in the beautiful Fraser Coast extends from north-south 40 kilometres, east-west 10 kilometres, 226 monsters, and they're planned to be, hopefully, according to the project developers, 295 metres high. That's a wind turbine that's higher than the Eiffel Tower. Imagine that. And they're giving off all kinds of infrasound, and they're giving off all kinds of problems to the local environment. But it's just stunning what the people have already told me about. It's in the Great Sandy Biosphere. But listen to this. It breaches Queensland State Code 23. Tell us about that, please, Christine.
Exactly. State Code 23 was designed and written to protect individuals, communities and the environment from adverse impacts as a result of construction, operation and decommissioning of wind farm development. But this government has broken its own rules. They've ignored State Code 23. We should have had community consultations about this wind farm over 3 years ago when they first started going into the forest doing bird and bat surveys.
But hang on, even that was terrible. I mean, this is an area where there's a migratory bird pass, migratory butterfly species, and they spent 60 hours.
Did 60 hours.
Listening, watching birds and
recording birds. Very minimal.
Hours.
Yes.
And a migratory cycle. I mean, this is rubbish.
I believe they haven't even done proper migratory bird cycle. It starts September. They come here to feed between September and March, and they feed on the patterned fens, which is FENS, which is predominantly along our coastline. That's the mud flats and sand flats you see here at Maroon, Boonaroo, Tuan. And the migratory birds stop off here to replenish themselves. They've lost about 2/3 of their body weight. They're very timid birds. They actually rest here and feed up again because they like the peace and quiet. But we've been told that 226 wind turbines won't affect the migratory birds. Yet it's adjacent to the East Australasian flyway of our protected migratory birds.
And it's in smack bang in the middle of the Great Sandy Biosphere.
Yes, it is.
There's so many things wrong with this. The locals are very well informed, and they're just... When did this start? About 2017?
2017.
But you didn't find out about it till early this year?
No. In January 2020, we got a small pamphlet put in our letterbox addressed to the householder from Forest Wind, and I opened it and I was just shocked that they would propose a wind farm in this area.
And this is the way the Palaszczuk Labor machine operates, because it kept these people in the dark, broke its own laws, and is helping this malinvestment. I'll say it again, I've said it many times. This is a parasitic malinvestment that is a blight on our country and will export jobs because it'll raise electricity prices. This has to stop, and we will help you stop it.
People don't understand. They promise lower electricity prices. It's not going to happen because the Energex and Ergon, the energy companies, have to upgrade their lines, transmission lines, to receive the wattage that this proponent, the proposed wind farm, is saying it will produce in power. That's going to cost them a lot of money to upgrade the lines. Where do they offset that cost? To the public. Queensland electricity prices have gone up 180% in the last 10 years because they keep building wind farms. They cannot promise lower electricity prices, and the jobs will be minimal. We're mostly retired people down here and we don't have the expertise to build or assist in building a wind farm.
I don't call them renewables, as I said in there. I call them unreliable.
There's
an unreliable source up in North Queensland here where they've had to disconnect the solar panels because the load coming in exceeded the limits for the transmission capacity.
That's true.
I mean, this is how stupid this Palaszczuk government is. They don't do their sums, they don't listen to people, they don't understand what they're getting into, but you'll pay the price.
It just sounds like a good idea. We've got to meet our renewable target by 2020. Well, in South Australia, they're getting massive blackouts and brownouts because they're feeding too much into the grid and it puts everyone into chaos with no power. Now, we live here without town water. We live and rely on our tanks. We have no town water supply. So if our power goes out, we've got no drinking water. We can't flush a toilet, we can't have a shower, we can't do anything.
There's nothing to like about this project. These people here are well informed, very well educated in this topic. They are right, it needs to stop.